Right.
And in all honesty, you're going to have to move out at one point anyway. So the sooner that you can do it, the sooner you can become acclimated to getting established, getting a place to reside in, and your utilities. Because then you'll know what it's going to cost for two households, because that's what's going to be taken into consideration if there's any award of child support and maintenance and any type of division of property and debt.
So if you've gotten to the point where you've decided between your wife and yourself that somebody's moving out of the house, do you recommend that the man try to stay? I mean, is it down the road when, if the man moves out, is it going to be looked at as abandonment? Is it, you know?
I kind of had an idea that that's what you were going to ask, because I see that on our site as well sometimes, and it's not going to be considered abandonment. Abandonment would be that you just voluntarily leave and have no contact, and then you haven't had any contact for at least 6 months. So this doesn't rise to the level, it doesn't even come close to the level of abandonment. What you're doing is you're protecting not just yourself, but your family. And so you're removing yourself from a potential high conflict situation or a hostile situation and making it better for everybody involved. And the courts will appreciate that and look favorably upon both people if it was a mutual compromise to move out. So you will not be penalized for moving out. Now, with that being said, though, if you're moving out, you have to take into consideration that there's going to be bills being paid by both parties, as we discussed. So something's got to be worked out.
Right now, you say that it'll look like you're playing ball and you're trying to be fair and you're looking out for the best interests of the kids and things like that, and those things will be taken into consideration. If it's a possibility that you could stay in the house with the kids, and that, you know, your wife would, your soon-to-be ex-wife would go, say, stay with her parents or maybe get an apartment or whatever, is that preferable? In other words, is it preferable? Is it going to put you in a better position with the courts, or is it not even going to matter if say she moves out and you know, in other words, if the status quo is that, well, you know, during this whole divorce proceedings, I've been living in the house with my kids. The kids have continued to go to the same school, which is right down the street. I've maintained as normal as possible a life for my kids, and you know, she moved out and got an apartment or moved in with family or whatever. In other words, is that going to put the man, is that going to have any effect on putting him in a better position to stay in the house with the kids and have custody?
No, I mean, as long as, I guess it really is going to depend upon why the couple is moving out. If you're moving out because you're trying to get your own place, because you know the two of you are not going to reside together, then that's fine. But if mom is moving out because there's abuse or there's like physical, emotional abuse, or she just can't take it, then that may position you not so well in the court's eyes, because she had to move out and you're the one that's making her move out. It was your actions that caused her to move out. However, though, what you want to do is try to do it as amicably as possible. And I know that's easier said than done, but if the two of you can try to resolve most of the issues between yourselves, or at least with your lawyers, and the less time that you're in court, that's not only going to save on litigation, but if you have children, that's gonna the children are going to pick up on it. And if you're going to have a high conflict divorce, not only are you spending a lot of money, but you'll really be damaging your children. And that's really what the big picture is, what is in the best interest of the children. It doesn't really matter who moves out first or who moves out when and where. It's really, let's figure out what can we do to provide for the best environment for the children. And that ultimately really is, you know, mom and dad have to separate. And with that being said, you also want the kids to get acclimated to the fact that, well, you know, we were under one household, but now we've got mom and we've got dad, so they have to get used to the fact that mom and dad are no longer going to be together. And so the sooner that that can be established and accomplished, then the better off that the children are going to be to become acclimated to the situation, because otherwise mom and dad know what's going on, or kind of know what's going on through the process, because they know what's been filed with the court, they both have attorneys, and they're dealing with the legal issues. But the kids still see it as one household, one unit, and they still see mom and dad. So that's going to be harder on the kids if it's been going on for a certain amount of time. Then, okay, well, where did dad go or where did mom go? It's going to be a lot harder for the kids to absorb and to take. So I think it's better for the children that the parents can separate, the sooner the better, because like I said, it's just easier for them to get acclimated to it.
So again, you're saying be professional about it, be an adult about it, get it done above the board with with the lawyer's involvement, and don't resort to things like locking the other party out and forcing someone to break a door.
Right, because the court doesn't like it when people act like they're back in high school or grade school. And you may not see the benefits of being above board up front, but you'll reap the benefits in the end.
Okay.
Just got to be patient.
Well, good. This I think that rounds out our discussion of how to determine who's going to stay and who's going to go, and what to do if, in fact, you come home and find that the doors are locked. This has been Dad's Divorce Live. We want to thank you for your questions and remind you that you can submit questions to Dad's Divorce Live through our Ask a Lawyer tab under our Resources tab on the front page of our website, dadsdivorce.com. For Dad's Divorce, I'm Rick Ortiz, and we were joined with Dan Cuneo of Cordell Cordell. Thank you.